Hi everyone, I'm Natasha.
And I'm Dennis.
And welcome to Not Gonna Lie People, where we promise to bring you our unfiltered, honest opinions about life. And we love to create a safe space to have conversations with you guys.
So we'd love to hear from you. Share with us your thoughts, your feelings, your stories. Leave them in the comment section.
So today, right, for our very first episode, we want to talk about something that is quite personal. If you're watching this or listening to this out loud with somebody from your family, now is actually a good time to pause it and get them out of the room, because it's gonna get a little bit awkward if you're gonna be listening to all these things with them in the room, okay? So we're gonna give you about 1 or 2 seconds to scoot them out, and then we'll talk about the real deal. So today, right, we want to talk about our family. And Dennis, I asked you a question, okay? What is something, right, that you want to tell your parents, but you've never had the guts to?
Why don't you go first?
Okay. I will say, Mommy, it's very weird to talk about my feelings with you, and I appreciate it, but it's still damn weird. My parents, right, okay, they're very sweet. So my mom will ask me details about my life. After I moved out, because I got married, right, then she will ask me, you live with your in-laws, you happy or not? When your husband go work, are you sad? When circuit breaker at home, you got fight with them? Then I'm have, but I don't want to tell you.
Why is it so hard to talk to them about these things?
I don't know, it's just weird. But okay, honestly, right, it's a me problem. Because I know I'm the one that feels weird. Because they ask, my parents will ask my sisters, my sister, the same questions, and I think she will tell them. My mom and my sis are almost best friends.
Wow.
Level, and I find that very puzzling. It's just not how I've been growing up. And I remember there was this one time, when I was still in school, right? I came home from school and it was a terrible day. I was very sad that day. Then when I stepped into the house, right, kudos to my dad, he could tell. So once I stepped in, right, then he asked me hey, they call me Shah. So he's hey, Shah, are you okay? Are you sad? I'm no. Then I go to the toilet, then I cry for 1 hour. But I die also don't want to tell them why, because it's just very paiseh to me lah.
Hey, your dad very nice.
He's very nice.
I think many people would love to have.
I was very impressed that night, but I was also very awkward. I just don't want to say.
But you just can't share openly and honestly to them.
I don't know. I share to my friends quite openly lah. But when it comes to my parents, it's I know you're there. I appreciate that you care for me, but it's just very weird to talk about my feelings. Y'all can relate, right? I'm not the only weirdo, right?
I think different people, different families have different struggles.
So that's what I would tell my parents. But love you. Yeah. How about you? What would you tell your parents?
I'll tell my dad, and if my dad is watching this, I'll tell my dad, I used to really hate you and really dislike you. Hate, I think hate is the word.
Wow, that's very strong.
That kind of feeling. Yeah.
Why leh? What happened?
I grew up in that era. Right? My dad will use all kinds of things, from cane to throwing chair, using belt.
Okay.
I don't know if you all know, the most pain, right, is actually things like the hanger.
The metal one with the pink color
really painful. I don't know
coating
why,
over the metal.
Yeah. I remember. So I hate it because when I was growing up, right, all the way to secondary school, he was caning me. And secondary school, I go to this school called Anglican High. And Anglican High, we wear short pants, right, until Sec 3. So he whacked me, right? People can see my marks. In secondary school, wow, so paiseh.
Yeah.
My marks with my leg hair growing. So that caused a certain bitterness towards him.
When he's angry, what are some things he will do?
Okay, in my secondary school, right? So I remember losing, I think just a few coins. I think 几毛钱, I think 20, 40 cents of coins. Right? Then I don't know why, what got into him, right? He was so upset, and he caned me over 40 cents. That thoughts that I cannot understand till today, Sometimes he's just unreasonable. It's very explosive. There was once that I was talking to him, reasoning with him something, Then he said no. Then I don't think I even raised my voice. I was just in an angry, unhappy way. So he came over. He take my head and he whacked the whole table on the whole table. Then I remember that dinner table, right? I was those foldable table that outside, So the whole thing just folded and everything just fell on the floor. So in those moments, you think to yourself what's got into him? What's wrong with him?
That's very heavy and very intense. How is your relationship with him now as an adult?
you see, your parents don't change. I don't know. I don't know. Is it true to say that, you know, we think about our parents, right? They stay, the habits they have, the way they are, it's pretty much the same. You know, they are like that. One of the things that was hard for me was that my dad, will, whatever wrong it is, right? My dad will blame me. You know, like it is my fault.
It's always you.
It's always my
Yeah.
problem. When I got COVID, and I call him, you know, I tell him, you know, oh, Papa, you know, I got COVID, my whole family got COVID, all this thing. His response, right, is not like, oh, how is it, you know, are you suffering and all this thing. But he's like, why you never take care of yourself?
It's you lah. People cough, you open your
Yeah,
mouth.
I
People
never
cough,
wear my
you
mask
go and
properly.
breathe.
It is
That's
my
your
problem. I'm like, what? Even
Yeah.
till today, sometimes he's like that. But I must learn to accept and to love him. I think there are sometimes my siblings complain to me and say that they cannot stand my parents saying these things and relating. So I tell them, you know, you have two ways. Continue on to let this define my relationship with them, or I could accept them, or that they are like that. And then you learn to see their heart. You learn to see what they truly meant. Even though I don't feel like it, I can still choose to love him. My perspective towards him changed. I see him in a different way. I learn to accept him and love him.
I think it was not easy. It was not an easy journey for you as well, lah. Learning to, I guess, accept certain things about your dad, your parents, given that you bear the brunt, right, of most of the imperfections. Along the way, were there certain things you did that helped you to do that more easily? Helped you to build that relationship with them? You know, maybe you can share a bit with us.
I'm sure you have experience as well, like how to love our parents in different ways. One of the ways I learned is that to love them in a way that they will feel love.
Oh, that's a big one.
But I remember many times, you know, I went all the way to Bedok 85, buy the bak chor mee, buy the pork porridge, you know, all the way for them. Right? Instead of them like appreciate, wow, you know, they will look at me and like, why you buy this? Why waste the money?
It's fun.
You know, like for you lah, you know. So I don't get it, you know. But I realized that actually maybe that's not the way they will feel love.
Yeah.
So I realized my dad is an acts of service person. So I'm not sure if you heard of the whole 5 language of love thing.
What's time touch? What's gifts?
Gifts,
your
correct,
father
correct.
not a gifts person.
correct.
Because
So
you buy
he's-
bus for me, he don't want.
So he's the service kind.
Yeah.
So if I tell him, for example, so that's why maybe he doesn't express through his words or through like, you know, want to give me a hug, you know, or like
Yeah.
ask me how are you.
My mother every day want to hug me. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want.
So you know, so maybe for you to show love to her, she'll feel love. You just hug her every day, she'll feel love. You know,
Yeah.
maybe, you know, but you don't like her.
Actually, it's true lah. It's like we need to love them in what makes them feel love, right? Not just what is comfortable to us.
Correct.
And I guess that's on us lah. That it takes us to
Feel
step
her out.
out of our comfort
Step out of
zone,
comfort
do what
zone.
is not natural to us. If our intention is to express our love also lah.
And just like you mentioned, you know, there's one thing that you talk about, the whole sharing of yourself to your parents. I can imagine why it's tough. Because
It's so awkward.
it's so awkward, right?
Yeah,
we
it's so
don't have
awkward.
such conversation. The conversation is usually about like housework,
Yeah lor.
you know, talk about the news, talk about, I don't know, you know, things around,
Yeah,
but not
yeah.
talk about one another.
Yeah,
You know,
correct.
is it in the Asian culture, you know, that we don't do
Yeah.
that? But I realized, right, it has to start somewhere. Start with some small steps. So when I sit down and watch TV with my parents, so we bond over like watching TV, right? I think most families
It's
do
a
that.
very like Asian family
Yeah,
thing,
sit
I
up there,
think.
watch TV.
Yeah.
So I will like say something, I'll tell them something about myself, about my, need not be my work, about my family or how I feel. I start with something small. And then I realized, so it started with my mom responding. My mom will begin to respond like, wow, like that you know, so I realized that she's listening.
She listening lah, yeah. Actually, I feel like sometimes when we volunteer information, right, it surprises them also. Because I think, I guess, as much as we grow to be very familiar with our parents' bad habits, I'm sure they are very familiar with our bad habits and how like we don't talk about things at home or like, you know, growing up, we just behave a certain way at home. So now when we grow up and we are adults and we behave differently and we share things, I'm sure it surprises them. And maybe that does help sometimes to build the relationship a bit lah, like bit by bit, step by step, even if we don't see it very immediately. Yeah. I don't know, maybe for like as children ourselves, sometimes past a certain point as we grow older, I think the roles also start to switch a little bit. Like when we're younger, we kind of expect our parents to take a lot of the initiative in like showing love, showing care, taking care of us, providing for us. But I think as we become adults also, then it kind of shifts somewhere down the road as our parents get older. So we can ask them more about their lives. We can take more initiative to ask them out, buy them things. And it's something that I think we need to transition into to recognize that we are adults now and our parents are getting older.
The whole role reversal is very interesting.
Yeah.
Because I don't know whether you all feel that way, that when the older we get, the way that we look at our parents, right, is like our kids. And
a bit.
You know, like I have to take care of them.
So I need to nag my father go see doctor when he's not feeling well.
Wow, that is a big thing, right?
Yeah.
I realized this, that when we're younger, we hope for them to love us. But do you realize now actually, they've hoped for us to love them? Because now that we grew up, So when I bring up to my parents that, like now after the whole, now we can travel, right? I was telling my parents, hey, we want to go travel in this. There's a certain smile in them. Like, hey, my kids are bringing me out.
Yeah, bringing you out, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm guessing for people who are listening to this who may have a very difficult relationship with their parents currently, I'm sure within all of us there is some degree of wanting to have a good relationship with our parents, whether or not we experience it now, right? Like as somebody who experienced the really, really bad times and now you can like have this kind of relationship with your dad, right? Like were there any things that you realized along the way about loving him, building that relationship that maybe you can just share with us also?
Sometimes we want to love our parents. We want to love our family members, the people that is very hard to love. But what if I don't feel like doing it? I don't feel like loving them. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I think I feel that way. And honestly, right, it wasn't easy. It wasn't because it is not like I came to church, I learned to love my parents. I wish it was that easy. But in fact, I came to church, I still hate my parents. And it wasn't hard. It was hard to love my parents.
Yeah.
It was hard to love them. I struggle with understanding why they're like that, why I'm in such a family, why they always compare me with people around. I feel so small about myself and my growing up days. So I learned to love them, right? Not with the love that I have. I learned to love them with the love I don't have. So I learned that love is a decision that you make. To love him because he is my father and they are my parents. No matter what they have done, I love them because I want to love them. It is the right thing to do. It's a hard thing, but that's the difference between how maybe growing up, we all learn that, love is that feeling that I feel.
Yeah.
When I love someone because I feel like doing it or I feel love from the person. So again, it's that transaction. But love is more than just a feeling. It's a decision that I choose to love the person. I think you will know in your marriage too. The same goes, right? You don't love because every day you feel like loving the person. You love because the person is your husband. And you make that vow, that promise, you choose to love.
Yeah, because I guess most of us, we have, or we get a certain frame of reference, like we take a frame of reference from what we receive, right? So if you, for lack of better phrasing, if you are loved well at home and at home you experience a love that is nurturing or parents who always speak the best of you, then that's how you know to love other people as well. But for people who come from more like difficult family backgrounds like yourself, right? Like I guess there just isn't that frame of reference. Or you can try, but is it really possible to conjure something that you've never received first, Yeah.
I realized that God placed me in this family for a reason and a purpose. There are many relationships I have in life. If you see your friendships that you have, even who you marry, you have a choice. But the very relationship in your family, your parents, your siblings, you don't choose, and there must be a reason and purpose for that. And maybe for everyone, each of them could be different. So, and I learned, so that gives me the ability to learn to accept that, okay, I have no choice, what can I do? And now I want to love, but I don't have that love. How can I love my parents in a way that even though, I don't feel like it, I don't have it? I think that's where God's love comes in, where I experience His love for me, because the way He loved me is like this. He loved me not because, I did something right or I did something good. He loves me just because of who I am. So because of that, this love that I receive, this so-called unconditional love that I receive. I learned to love my parents in this way as well. So something that I don't have, but thankfully I can experience that in God and I can give it to my parents too.
Well, actually, I really, really like the perspective that you shared because I feel like it gives hope to people who maybe come from more difficult family backgrounds and situations. And I personally know many people who grow up like that. And I think it helps because then it makes us feel like you're not just like victims of the circumstance that you found yourself in, but there is a certain like agency and power to do something about it. You can make a choice as to how then as a young adult, as you grow up, right, you want to continue living out your family life. And yeah, I think we have a lot of things to think about today. And I think I personally will go back and tell my parents more things about my life, especially since they do ask me about it. I mean, I do appreciate that they ask me.
We would
about
love
it.
to hear from our listeners as well.
And so if you're going through a difficult family situation, we hope that today's episode helped you to see that you're really not alone. And we'd love to hear your stories as well. So you can leave us a comment, share your stories with us, and we will read through them as well.
Yep.
So we've come to the end of our episode for today. If you enjoyed our content, you can give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and feel free to also share this with somebody who you think will enjoy it. We'll see you in our next episode. Bye!
Bye!